Hi everyone, welcome to the True You podcast. You're with myself, Jamie, and Nicole Whitehead. Today we've got Mitch Lowe on the show.
You.
We've been good mates in the DJing scene for a few years now.
We have.
And it's been awesome seeing your progress and how you've evolved over the years. I mean, you said that you just opened your 16th company, 16th business, and that was this drink here. Can you tell us a bit about the Greenroom drink that we
the old Greenroom. The reason we're feeling dusty.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Launch party last night. Game on. Well, the Greenroom, essentially, we saw how big the market was, because obviously at our festivals about 65% of the sales were vodka RTDs.
Wow.
Which is a huge percentage. So we knew that it's the drink that best connected with music, obviously. And we know that our strength is music. So we wanted to create a drink that we could connect strongly with music, which is hence the name Greenroom, artist Greenroom. And and basically just wanted to tick a few boxes, and one of them being that it's not too sweet, so you can drink quite a lot of them.
Yeah. We drank a lot last night because they taste so good.
We had to test the theory.
Seriously, easy drinking, 100% natural. It's I'm surprised there's nothing else like it on the market because it's just so simple. I mean, you mix concentrated fruit juice with some premium vodka and sparkling water, and you're laughing. So,
yeah.
It's good to go.
Oh man,
don't quite give away the secret recipe.
It's printed on the can. We're quite proud of the ingredients, so it's heavily on there.
No, definitely, I could see that that drink alone is gonna skyrocket. It's gonna be at all the your festivals and gigs.
It is.
So how many gigs are you doing these days?
We have tried to cut back a little bit, which is ironic because
really?
it's still about we're trying to do bigger.
Yeah.
Not so more people through the doors, but
Yeah.
less shows as such. But in saying that, we're still pumping out over 200 a year.
200 gigs.
Yeah.
And that's including Bay Dreams, which is like the biggest New Year's festival
Yeah.
in New Zealand. Was it like was it third year running that became the biggest?
Second year.
Second year.
Yeah, it all happened faster than we expected, man. It was so cool, just to see how supportive NZ is. I mean, you look at our population, and we're getting numbers to Bay Dreams that Australian festivals don't even get, and we got 4 million people here, so it's
Really?
yeah, it is. It's crazy, and it just shows how supportive Kiwis are and how much they enjoy a good time, which is cool.
You've definitely changed the festival scene for New Zealand.
Yeah, definitely tried our best.
So what's the story behind Bay Dreams? Like, what made that come about?
I guess it was always on the horizon. I mean, it's the reason I work so hard doing small events. You build the relationships with these agents, and then you eventually want to get the bigger artists. Essentially how it happened was Pardo, my business partner, does all of basically live music, or a lot of the live music, a lot of the reggae in New Zealand, and I was doing all the electronic and the DJ side of things. And we just caught up on a phone call one day, and we're like, bro, if we could combine those two aspects in a place like in a holiday destination, I mean, how could it go wrong? That was our theory. So we put all these bands, all these DJs, booked everyone we could. I think the first year was like Pendulum, and that was pretty much as big as it got for us back then. But ended up getting 5,000 people and pissed down with rain, soaking. I was riding camels in India, so I didn't even go to the first Bay Dreams.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my cousin's wedding, so most people have been to more Bay Dreams than I have. But yeah, the idea was born, and then in year 2, 20,000 people, and that caught us by surprise. Our goal was 10 in the second year, so I mean it's crazy, yeah, even for us.
It's crazy too, because like you've got all the established festivals that were already there, and then you guys just overtook.
Yeah.
And now like you sell out your tickets, these days. It's like, isn't it like September or something? You sold your tickets out, or?
We released in July and sold out in 4 days.
Oh, 4 days.
Yeah, and then we work really hard with the council and stuff to. You put all your plans in place, and then you sort of get reassessed, and we got a 5,000 capacity increase. So you do all your traffic management, and then they come back and say, well, yep, we believe you're good to go with another 5,000. So that's what happened, and now we've got those final tickets on sale now. So it's been a 2-stage scenario.
So what's the numbers this year then?
So we're doing 30,000 up north. Again, we did 30,000 last year. It's basically the max that the city can handle. It's not the max that we can do. It's just Tauranga is cooked after that. And then south we got an increase to 25,000.
Wow.
Which is cool because we delivered 20,000 so smoothly in Nelson that they said you can do 25,000 this year. So that's sort of how it works. You just got to do things well, and you sort of and you're allowed to grow.
What I find amazing is like you've got so much going on. Like you own this label with Mitch James and Ridden by Wolves and a few other artists, and you're traveling around the world helping these guys, and then you got all these festivals, and now you've got this Greenroom drink and
the other 13
and
companies
how many how do you
balance it all?
I reckon the short answer to that is good people, good team. I think like one of our skills is being able to place the right people in the right positions, you know. So I've got all this stuff going on, but underneath me is just absolute like weapons that are, you know, that are managing each aspect of it. So and then also strategically partnering with the right people. So we started a new tech company like a year ago. I mean, I know nothing about tech, so we went and found the best tech guys in New Zealand and built a cashless RFID system. So like the cashless payments at the events.
Yep. It's like AWOP.
Just like a very
better
modernized futuristic version of it. You can top up your own band off your phone, and you can refund yourself after the event, and it connects your band account to your ticket so that you've got all your details, and it's like
saving all the headaches.
Save the headaches.
Yeah.
But no, my point with that was just finding the right people to do the best job is, you know, that's, and sort of partnering up with them, and now we've got the best product. So that's same with Greenroom. You know, we found the right people to manufacture it, to develop the taste with us, to produce the cans, and then to distribute it throughout New Zealand. And it's like, without all that, we'd still be sitting with pallets in our garage probably.
Yeah.
And it's been quite a speedy process. So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, geez. We pulled this together outrageously fast. Like the concept was 3 years ago I came up with the name, and we had the idea of it as actually going to be a beer back then until we realised that vodka outsells beer by 2 or 3 times. But cut a long story short, a few months ago we met the right people, as I was mentioning. So pure bottling there, and we wanted to do it all locally, so we got this local manufacturing plant and local distribution as well. But we basically had to turn this whole thing around. Like 2 weeks ago the product didn't exist, so we got the cans had to come over from Australia. Like there's all these different parts, and and essentially in the space of 6 days we like produced the cans, did a photo shoot, released all the social media, sent it out to influencers, and then basically threw our launch party. So when everything happened in a week.
It was an awesome party. I mean, we arrived to the bar, and the bar had been renamed Greenroom. We're like the sign over the name of the bar. They'd stuck this new sign, and
again, credit to we've got the ex brand manager of Jaeger to do Greenroom. So I mean, so Kelly just rolled in with our marketing manager Dan, and they just set all that up. I mean, the first time I saw it was walking in there as well. So it's cool when you just get to walk in and see things like that, you know, just people using their initiative and nailing it.
Can you because you're an entrepreneur, like where did you get that from? Like where did it all start?
Yeah, jeez.
It's one of those things when I was at school.
It's funny with like an entrepreneurial mindset is just like, I mean, I believe it was just always with me, you know. It's quite like it takes a certain type of person to be able to take a lot of risk and have many failures and then and persist, because that's what it is. Every entrepreneur will say the same thing. Like, I've got 16 companies now, but I've got 20 that have failed. You know, so I'd say the mindset was always within me, but like the drive comes from like finding a little bit of success and then getting a taste for it, and then trying to recreate it, and then you got the festivals. It's like, well, now this is a byproduct of that, you know. So you start stepping into all these, trying to expand, and that's why we keep forming these new companies, because we've realised that we can, all of them just feed off each other, and that's good business, you know, if one can support the other.
Definitely, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, even all through school, I always knew that I was going to work for myself. Like I told my parents when I was 14, and like yeah, went straight, studied design, started a clothing label, failed, ran an event, made some money, and then just kept doing events.
So like, what made you decide you want to have your own businesses? Did you like read a lot or something as a kid, or?
No, actually the motivation was travel, to be honest. I think it was I knew that I couldn't do a 9 to 5 and then have the flexibility and the freedom to live the life that I wanted. So it actually comes down. It's funny because people think entrepreneurs, it's just about money, but it's actually about the lifestyle. It's the fact that no one can tell me what to do every day. Like I literally wake up and I could fly to Japan this afternoon if I wanted to. You know, it's like that freedom is why I do this.
Yeah.
And it's a catch-22 because you got the freedom, but you're also consistently working. So even if I did go to Japan tonight, I'd still spend the next 3 days replying to Greenroom threads and trying to figure out why the website's not working. It's like, so you sort of, it's just this huge catch-22.
Right. Yeah, true.
Because your work's always with you. Like I'm never not thinking about one of them. You know.
Yeah. I mean, like you had the New Zealand Vodafone Music Awards on Friday night, right?
Yeah.
Was it Thursday night, and then
that explains why I'm feeling this way. That was a double nighter.
That was a big night apparently. And then last night was the Greenroom Open, and then tonight is another one of your artists,
Written by Wolves.
Yep.
Album launch party, yeah. In Auckland, which I should be going to, but I'm very dusty. But we did have a little secret one last Friday though. It was awesome. It was like an intimate media one that I ran and gave out some green rooms there before we released it, which was cool.
So what's been your biggest challenge?
Oh, jeez. Out of everything.
And you mentioned there's one thing that happened. You said they haven't told anyone, or the story.
Oh, the story. That's probably the most testing thing I've ever been through. Should I just tell the story?
Yeah.
Right. How long?
Sounds interesting, man.
We'll get comfy.
It was rad. There's actually been a lot of challenges, but I like this one because it's crazy. But I partnered up with a woman in Perth to create this festival concept. Basically, think Fyre Festival, and then you'll know where I'm going with this. But
Fyre Festival, yeah.
Not quite, but it was the same dream. You know, it was it's called Forgotten Island, and the concept was it would be this beautiful white sand beach, and it was on Gili in Bali. Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've been there. It's awesome.
Yeah. So
awesome.
like intimate little island, no cars, just like horse carts and stuff. And so you can imagine like the dream of putting a festival there. You know, it sounded, the whole concept sounded so attractive. Especially this is like 4 or 5 years ago, so Daydreams was just launching as well. So for me at that stage, it was like, man, I'm about to own like half of this music festival in Bali. It's going to be outrageous, like just such a dream. So anyway, we sell all these tickets, and it's quite intimate. It's for 650 people, but people are flying from all over the world. So it's extremely like cool international concept, and yeah, like I said, it's essentially like a mini beach festival, a boutique festival. So I'm going over there, meeting with these guys, sitting around boardroom table vibe.
Yep.
And they've got the health association person, they've got like the prince's someone, they've got like the environmental specialist, they've got the like liquor licensing person. So all the stakeholders that are generally used for an event are there, you know. So I've got like complete confidence in the fact that I've met with them. They've approved the event. They just got to tick all these boxes. You got to donate to the islands. Like, where anything they wanted, we're willing to do. So I think I'd gone back probably twice to meet with these guys. You know, just showing face, regular meetings.
Yeah.
So let's say this is 2 months out, a month out. So now I'll fast forward to flying in, and we get there about 5 days before the festival's supposed to happen.
Yep.
Roll in, everything just seemed normal when we first got there. Meeting the right people, had planned all these like boat parties for people are starting to fly in from around the world, obviously. Like some of my best mates, artists, like it was crazy. Like, well, the concept was, the idea was crazy, but so let's just say we're 5 days out, and we go back into one of these table setting situations with all these stakeholders, and one of them's like, do you have your crowded permit? And we're like, well, this is a bit weird because I've dealt with you for 2 months. It's the first time I've heard about a crowded permit. What even is a crowded permit? And you're like, oh, it's a permit for over, like, I think they came up with a number, for over 500 people it's considered a crowded area and you need this permit. It's like,
oh, wow.
Unreal, like just off the cuff, crowded permit. So we're like, look, we didn't know about it, just tell us what we need to do because the gig's in 5 days. So like, well, you need to go to all, they gave a list of 5 police stations, and you had to go through and get each police station to sign it off at the bottom. So they'd essentially, you'd go to, it's sort of like stepped up each time until you got to the head. The final stage was like the head police office signing it off. So now I've got this guy helping me, this legend Aussie dude, who's just like, he's feeling for me because he owns the backpackers there and he knows what's going on here, and he understands the corruption. This is the thing, I didn't know that Bali was extremely corrupt. I mean, you would think that you'd just assume that, but I was just benefit of the doubt because everything seemed so professional at the time. So we go around and get these permits. First one signs it off, second one signs it off, third one, fourth one. This is like going around the country, by the way. So this has taken like almost 2 days to like get this done. Gets to the final head cop. This is like Jakarta, big dog, big dog, chief executive, someone or other that has to sign this off. Brendan went and got that one because I was off doing something. Eventually gets it all done, and it costs like, don't quote me, but somewhere around like 10 grand or something to get the final signature, right? So you pay this guy, he signs it off.
Whoa.
So anyway, fast forward, so we're 3 days out from the festival. Back into this setting, and all around the table, oh, do you have your crowded permit? We're like, yeah, like we just spent the last 2 days sorting it out. So the head chief cop geezer's on the table, and we're like, yeah, no, sorted it out with him, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And we're like, well, shit. And then everyone's giving us these eyes like don't go there, like if I was to call him out and say, if we were to call this guy out, you'd just, who knows what they'd do, like they're so corrupt. The last thing you want to do is basically run that risk.
Whoa.
So now we're like, well shit, we don't have a crowded permit, we're 3 days out, we've just lost like 10 grand, and by the way, we've been bribing people left, right and centre before this, so let's say we're like 20-30 grand down already. Like it's cooked. Like everyone just wants a piece. So eventually we must be like 2 nights out. There's supposed to be this boat party. They don't let our boat party go ahead, so that's the start of it. Everyone's flowing in now because we're like 2 nights out. People come from London, bloody all across Asia, Australia, heaps from New Zealand. I've got like Peking Duck, Danny Bird, like all my actual like mates, artists that I convinced, hey, come play this like amazing show in Gilly Tea and we'll spend the week together and it'll be awesome. So they're all flying in, and word's starting to get around now because the boat party's cancelled. Police just block it because they wanted essentially more money. They just said, like, one of the guys came back and said, we'll let it go ahead if you could give us, and it was like the equivalent of like 50-something thousand New Zealand dollars, or like it was like so far out of reach that they knew it was essentially impossible. So now I'm like, in this situation, I'm like, I'll never give up. I was like, this show's going ahead, like a bit like old Fyre Festival, except I'm not a muppet. But so I'm like, I'll do anything now. So I'm like chatting to people on the island, word's getting around, everyone's starting to like freak out because like boat party's cancelled, wonder if the festival's going ahead. So I basically, now I'm thinking of everything, because if it's a crowded permit, what if I can just put these people into an existing venue? Then I don't need this made up permit. So now I go find the biggest venue on the island and meet the owner, and he's like, 100%. He's like, so sorry for what they've done to you. Like, we'll just put this in my venue. Blah blah blah. sorted.
Sweet.
And he goes, so now let's just say we're the night before the day before the festival in the morning. I'm running around trying to have these meetings. We announced that the festival's going to be indoors. Sorry everyone, whatever. Didn't manage to pull off the beach, but the show's still going ahead, still going to be great. And then this guy essentially, I had like a few beers with him that night, and it seems like almost seems like a friend. And he goes, oh, apart from like owning the venue, I'm also in the military, and I fly F1 fighter jets. And I was like, well, it's insane. He starts showing me videos on his phone, full evidence. I was like, this guy's incredible. Like he's high up in the military.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry, because at this point, everyone on the island, the stakeholders are saying the show's not going ahead, and this guy's telling me, don't worry, the show's going ahead. There's nothing they can do. So he essentially says, for about 10 grand, he could bring all his military people to the island, and we'll just defend the island against the police.
Whoa.
So now I'm like, it's the night before the festival, right, and I'm just willing to do anything to make this festival go ahead. And he gives me the full rundown of like, in Bali it's actually military and police actually sit under them. It's not, so the sort of the hierarchy there is actually like military's like, he's super powerful.
Yeah.
So day of the festival. This is nuts. I've gone to every ATM, because you can only get out like $600 at each ATM. So I've gone to like 10 ATM. Well, however many to like somehow get this guy 10 grand. He brings his mates in. They're standing there with M16 assault rifles surrounding the island. Surrounding the whole island, and he's just like, all right, the show's gonna go ahead. So now it's like, let's say it's like midday. Navy boats roll in. He fails to tell me that the Navy can basically just take over the military at any stage. Like, 2 Navy boats roll in. They just roll up onto the beach, arrest the dude that's helping me, and now the rest of. But everyone wants my head now, because I'm the guy that's just defended the island against the police, and I brought the Navy in. And so news has got to like Jakarta level now, and everyone's just like, who the hell is this guy? Even though like I've done nothing wrong. I've just literally tried to we got the visas for the artists, we did everything by the book, so I'm sitting there going, this doesn't make any sense. So now he's arrested, sun setting, everyone's freaking out, because now show's cancelled, everyone knows that they're all looking for me. So these guys eventually, some of them, I remember what happened. I was like, just finished dinner or something, and I hear my mates tell me that these guys are like knocking on my hotel room, and everyone's they're at the hotel trying to find me. So he's like sort of giving me this insight. Yeah. But genuinely, like, people are shitting themselves now, because it's not just the way that they all went about it was like that they basically wanted to kill me, or they wanted to prove a point or something, So in my head, it's just like, shit, these guys are out to get me. Yeah. And they're all.
Were you hiding?
So now I go into hiding. So I'm in like full hoodie. It's like 30 degrees there. I'm like hoodie over my head, hiding on the back of one of those like horse carts. Boost around to the back of the island, and I escape on the first jet boat. I take this jet boat to Lombok Island, and
holy shit! Were you by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, at this point. But now imagine like all my friends, like no one knows where I am, so they're like, shit, Mitch is like being kidnapped. Mitch is like,
oh, did you have a phone on you or
everyone's
something?
Freaking out. I don't even think I had. Oh, maybe I had my phone at that point. But anyway, so they catch me. These like big dudes, all dressed in black. They don't even look official, Like, I was like, shit, this isn't even like a uniform. Like, where are they going to take me? They hardly speak English, but they basically confiscate my passport. At that point, I think they pretty much just took all my shit.
Wow.
Took me on the back of or put me in a car or something, and got me to the embassy, like the immigration office or something.
Yep.
So I'm detained for like 8 hours, just getting questioned. They're trying to make us sign these forms, all in Indonesian, so that I can't read them. But basically, like, I was like, mate, if I sign these, I'm probably just saying you've got full permission to put me in jail for the rest of my life. Like, I have no idea what they say. So I'm taking photos of these, trying to get people to translate in NZ, thinking that I'm going to jail. Like, it's just so like heavy at this point. Like, just getting interrogated the whole time. So eventually they. Oh, shit, I think fast forward to like it's like 2 a.m. or something. We're still trying to sort this out. They've like had enough of me because I'm not signing anything, blah blah blah, and they get they get a police officer to then take me to the airport, which is like a boat plus an hour drive, like whatever it is, you know. So, and the whole time this guy he's not allowed to leave my side, takes me straight to the airport. Half my shit's like still in ghillie tea and stuff, you know. And he just goes. And at this point, I still don't know what's going on. I don't have any of my passport or anything. It's like, let's say it's 2 a.m. and he's like, you're on next flight out. And I'm like, what? There isn't it? He's like, you're going back to New Zealand. I was like, there's no flight to New Zealand. He's like, you're on the next flight. And I ended up in Japan for 2 weeks. So,
so they literally put you on the next plane that was like leaving the tarmac. Oh my god.
And
wow.
So then, massive stamp, cancels like full deported, blacklisted. I'm never allowed back. And just cancelled my visa and
they let you into Japan without the passport, or did they give you back the passport?
Cancelled my full page visa on the. I've still got the deported stamp and everything on it. And then ended up in Japan trying to recover from that. But long story short, I had to like refund everyone. Like lost.
Wow.
Like show didn't go ahead. Lost all this money. Had to refund everyone. Had to apologise. Like I thought it was like the end of the world, eh? But you get through that, and you can basically get through anything, which is the cool part. I should show you the This is the craziest part, bro. When I show people the actual like photos, so they understand. So this is when the Navy came into.
It's like full on.
We'll add some. Wow.
He goes, military, come now. Better you leave. Take care. Better leave. Is all I can give you as a suggestion. If you don't mind, change your mobile number. Otherwise, they're gonna contact you, bro. This is the dude that's like another random guy that was supposed to be like helping me out, you know.
It's like full on military boat coming in.
Paying them the cash to get all the cash that's just like bribing people, getting lost everywhere. So real, like movie. It was like movie spec. It was crazy.
You could make a documentary, just like Fyre Festival.
Yeah. Oh man, literally the only difference between that and Fyre is like, at least people still stayed on ghillie and still had a good time and stuff. And there's facilities, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're stranded in a refugee tent, a bit cooked. So I think
everyone would have had a great time regardless. But
look,
far out.
All you can do is literally apologise. Like it's hard because you can't. You also have to, like we said, look, corruption's won this at the end of the day. Like we're so sorry and stuff. But that's all you can really do. Like we're going to refund you and that's Jeez, you like. What more can you do? It was far worse for us than them, you know.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, like with your events and stuff, a trend that I think you kind of started it in New Zealand, is that when something doesn't go to plan, you throw in a plan B that sometimes is even better than the first one. You know what I mean? Like if an artist doesn't come, then all of us, like the next day, you've got someone else to replace it already.
Yeah.
And then I started noticing other festivals started doing that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
oh man, it's just because we care so much, you know. That's the difference. Is like we genuinely like just don't want to let people down. We just like we want to impress them. So if an artist cancels, for us it's like we'll add two.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else, like a few years ago, people just cancel an artist and go, so sorry you can't make it, like enjoy your day, you know. And then all the punters are so gutted because they're not getting their value. So we just spend twice as much, and that's the thing, like that's what separates us, and that's why I love this, you know. Like we'll spend an extra $100,000 to get an artist in the next day, just to keep people happy. And I think that, but you build that loyalty, because of that. People know that we're not going to let them down.
Exactly.
So it's definitely paid off in big time as well.
I think loyalty is a real big thing. Like people that know you, that I've talked to and stuff, have said, you know, how well you actually treat everyone that's in your team, that's like the artists and that kind of thing, you go above and beyond for them,
Cool.
which I think is a really, really cool thing. And that's, I think, one of the catalysts for you doing so well is because you respect everyone.
Oh,
and
awesome. Well,
treat
that's
them really, really
it's
well.
such a huge part of it, man. It's like everything's relationships, you know, like that's all I really care about, you know, like everything else is just a byproduct in it. And obviously it's fun to do these events, but like, yeah, it's my team and my mates and my family and stuff that are just everything.
That's so cool because you're like, you can see you guys, you don't just work together, but you hang out together as well.
Yeah.
You know? And
We do life together.
yeah, you do life together. Yeah.
It's so funny because I've actually brought that up in a conference before, because I don't know if it's how things were and we're a new generation, maybe we're a bit different, but historically it's like you're supposed to separate your business life and your personal life.
That's
And
what they tell you, right?
And I just I actually just don't believe that at all. Like I do the exact opposite, you know, like people like don't be friends with your artists, you should just have a business relationship and do what's like, you know, and treat them like a business. It's like, if my artist is my best mate, then I'm gonna do whatever the person takes to like, you know, to do the right thing by him.
Yeah.
So that surely that's much more important, because it means that I'm always going to have his back and always going to do anything. So that's sort of how we've built everything, you know, is the whole people first theory.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So for all these like small businesses out there and people getting started, how do you start a team like from scratch, you know?
Yeah.
That's like, I think that's probably the hardest part, right? Like,
It genuinely is. Yeah, that's a really good point, because it's what happens is you fight so long and so hard on your own, right?
Yeah.
And then at some point you're going to make the decision to delegate, and it's the hardest part because you're letting go of a bit of control, you know. So it's that's what I've had to learn in recent years. I've got good at is just trusting other people to do the job. A part of that's finding people that can do the job better than you as well, you know, so that you're not constantly having to chase, and you want people with initiative and that are proactive. But I just remember that being the hardest step, because for 5 years I was like, booked the artist, I designed my own posters, I managed the show on the day, and then I DJ'd at the gig, and like it was like front to back, just still, I don't even know how I did it now looking back, you know, because you're like out till 4 a.m. and then you got to get up and start again. But yeah, there was just that moment where eventually like I had just enough money to justify bringing on one salary.
yeah.
And honestly, it's like snowballs from there, because you realize how much more productive you are, and like, and then you just get to this point, oh, maybe I can afford another person part-time, and you're like, sweet, and then that person becomes full-time, and it's honestly just a slow graft, because you basically have to generate the revenue on your own to be able to pay someone. So it's just, that's the battle. But getting to that point was the greatest. Like, I remember how good it felt to be able to just hand stuff to someone else. Like, when Nate, my best mate and first staff member, when he's still full time with us now, but he does design. When he took the posters off me, it was like, wow, man! Like now I've got like 20 more hours of my week.
Because they take a long time to make, right?
I was spending like 6 hours on a poster, you know, and then some of those shows make you like $100. You're like, I may as well just do design, like, but it's but it's also cool because now I completely understand design, so I wouldn't change anything, because I love having the design knowledge, the ability to like to do things if I need to.
And you've got that background knowledge of your whole business as well. How it runs on the underground.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in the whole, essentially, being able to do every aspect of it allows you to manage the people in those aspects better, because I understand it, you know. So when someone's doing visas, it's like, cool, I understand them, I can assist, or like I get the process. Or if someone's stage managing, or like, you know, understanding a bit about the production and being a DJ and knowing how to, like, how handy is it when you get to a venue and shit's not set up and you know how to do it, you know. So I just that practical skill set is so crucial, I think.
So what's your, like, did you have a vision for how far you want to go, like all these businesses, and like what an end outcome would be?
Yeah.
Cause I'm big on visions, I guess.
Yeah. It's an ironic one for me, because I'm so big on goal setting and setting like outrageous goals, you know,
Yeah.
and trying to achieve them. But at the same time, this whole beast that we have just constantly molds, and it changes every few weeks, and new ideas pop up and you action them, and it's so I almost love not knowing, you know, like all I know is that the foundation of it and what we built it on is like, as long as I'm comfortable within that, you know, like more like the morals and the ethics of the business, then like from that point on we can start shit every few weeks, and every year I look back on, gee, like how did that happen, you know. But ultimately I don't really see. I do want to get some businesses to the point that I can sell them, but I also, it's sort of not why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of being able to build a business that someone wants, you know, and that you can sell, but that's not the goal's. Never to just get quick cash. It's to enjoy the lifestyle, and there's no amount of money that could. We've had people looking at Daydreams tons of times. You know, there's no amount of money that would like take that something that we've created, you know, away from me. So it's. I say that now. See where I am in 10 years.
Daydreams International, all over the world.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're just
Is there
expand.
any goals for going international? Obviously, Bali didn't work out too well, but
the
other
Let's
goals,
start there. No, there definitely is. Very, very ironically, we actually we're looking at Bali for a festival, but I'm literally just gonna be as silent partner as I can, because. Now I've said it on a podcast. Jeez, but no, there's huge goals. Definitely going to crack into Australia heavily. So Australia will be next, and then once we conquer sort of 4 cities in Oz, so like say getting Daydreams over there, or great guys over there that we can partner with, because we work with them at the moment. Then Pardo just sold out One Love Gold Coast, so that was huge for him.
Oh, wow.
First time on sale, selling out in another country's pretty cool.
Wow.
And then he wants to do Hawaii, and then he wants to do South America. So
they're going to go well too.
Yeah. For me, my international stuff's probably a lot more my artists. You know, like Mitch James just will be a full-blown international pop star soon, and we'll have the ability to just sell out shows in Munich, and like I'm so excited about that. You know, so that'll be like building those relationships internationally.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're cranking his music at work. You know, every day, you know.
Oh, really?
So, I was just saying last night, we went to LA May this year, and we went to Disneyland, or just before we went to Disneyland, we went to Starbucks, and they were playing Mitch James's music and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we walked in there, and we're like, whoa, this is New Zealand music, man. Like, it's crazy.
That's so cool.
So,
I do.
definitely.
I love that. Every time I bloody take off on an Air New Zealand flight or land, it's like either Mitch James or Thomas Oliver or like one of my acts, and I was like, yeah, it's a good way to start the day.
So cool.
But no, it'll genuinely be scary where he is a year from now, man. Like his trajectory is like crazy with this next album that he's dropping, like full international release.
Oh, true. Is it already made?
100%, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's in like all the songs have been written, but
created.
it's just in that sort of production phase, and
Yeah.
hopefully
that's awesome.
aiming for maybe second quarter next year, and then it's game on.
Bring on Munich.
Scary, actually, yeah. Scary because I just love like him and his music and his shows, and I just want to. If he goes and does 100 dates around the world, I want to be on all of them. But I sort of have to be here as well, so it's it's crazy, eh?
God, that sounds really fun.
I'll figure it out. Yeah, and it's been on tour with that band is like the ultimate, man. Like such good guys, and just it's always just hilarious, you know. It's just such a good time.
Because was it you that got him to play for before Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
No, did you get him the break? Because that's awesome, man. Because I think, I kind of think he's like the New Zealand version of Ed Sheeran.
Of Ed, yeah. He actually still chats to Ed all the time.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so it's cool. So we've got that relationship there.
Nice.
Yeah, that was cool how we got that. It was like a bit of a strategic sort of connected the dots, signed a publishing deal, and then that publishing company had a touring arm that did the Ed Sheeran show, and we sort of wiggled our way in. But ultimately he is the person that deserves to open for Ed, and musically as well, you know, it's perfect. So that was a bit of a a bit of a big moment, because I feel like from that moment, like things really like skyrocketed, and they still are. But can't wait to tour with Ted, with Ed internationally. Eh? That'd be the goal.
Yeah.
Do some Wembley stadiums.
Wow. that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think, closing up kind of thing. What's your biggest piece of advice for people in business, like young ones going into business?
Biggest piece. I'd probably like summarize it with integrity, because I think it's just my favorite word. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, I think being able to set borderline unrealistic goals and just work towards them, because if you sort of that whole like shoot for the stars scenario, and if you miss, you're still that we don't get everything right all the time, but we aim so high that we, even if we get halfway there, it's people are like still, wow, this is like, this is great. But I'm massive on the law of attraction, so I mean that got it written there in Vietnamese. So that's, I mean, for me, it's not a piece of advice, but it's something that I live by, the law of attraction. Exact like your whole perception is reality, like what you put out is what you get back. Like it's just pretty generic stuff, but like there has been 100 examples where like I just think about something so much, if you just manifest something so much that it happens. Like it's a million examples, all the events, all the companies, like these were just ideas that have just constantly been marinating in our heads for so long, and then if you think about something enough, it happens.
Yeah. Do you like have a ritual around that? Like do you have a certain time of day that you like tune in, or is it just all the time? Are you just always tuning into?
It's always, yeah. I mean, I probably would like to do that.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs take, they maybe a bit more. I guess some people are a bit more system driven, a bit more like 5 a.m. they're going to meditate, 6 a.m.'s gym, 7 a.m.'s breakfast. Like I'm not good with that stuff at all. Like my calendar's just cooked, but I say for me it's a bit more of like all the time, but I would like to think that I can become that. There is a version of me that would do that, that would just take an hour out of the day and just relax and meditate and unwind, because I don't do that. I can imagine it would be healthy.
So you're sort of
thinking about it will happen.
yeah, exactly. But then thinking about doing nothing it hurts my brain. Turning your phone off for an hour.
Well, I guess that could be possibly a goal, just being able to turn off. I'm either all on or off. There's not. I'm not really a grey area person. So the way I see it is I'd rather just go like so hard with all this business for like 5 years. Another 5 years, smash it out, build everything massive, and then throw my phone away and go sail for a year. And do pretty much what Ed Sheeran did. Like just literally threw his phone away and just had a year off, like, and then actually have that time off. And that. I would like to think that I'm going to do that in like 4 or 5 years, because then you're going to come back and you're going to develop so many ideas in that time. You're going to come back recharged and feel like a nice fresh start basically. But as for now, man, I could do this 24 hours a day. That is awesome, yeah. I mean, when you're living in your purpose,
you
just have unlimited energy, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's
awesome.
That's exactly it, man. It's just doing something you love is like. People ask, how do you do so much? And it's like, well, if you love something, you just literally do it. Like you want to do it. It's not like it's not a chore for me to at 8 p.m. to go promote a show. It's not a chore. It's like I actually love it. And then the catalyst to that though is trying to find time for yourself, and you're trying to balance. It actually just becomes a hectic game of balance. That's what it is, man, being an entrepreneur, because you still want to have time with your family and you still want to give time to your partner, and you're like, but I think I'm doing not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, you've even got farm animals here.
Yeah, that was strategic, man. I was like, I needed something that would drag me outside no matter what, and you have to feed them, so it's like, every day. That's probably the only like ritual thing I have actually, is every day I get to go out there and like feed them and
So what animals do you have now? Because you got a couple cows there, a couple
probably
of goats.
see a few actually. A couple cows, couple goats, ducks, guinea pigs, rabbits. Most of everything's free range apart from the guinea pigs because they would die. Oh, there's my duck. His best mate, I didn't clip their wings and he flew down to the river down there, so sort of unfortunate. So I've got one duck actually. Hey mate. He's just so lost now, eh? He's like looking for his mate. I might take him down the river.
Oh man, it's been awesome having you on the podcast today.
Cheers.
And I'm sure people are going to be inspired by, your going for big visions and just knowing that that's possible. Because especially in New Zealand and like small towns and things, you don't really see people think that big, So that's awesome.
Yeah, I hope it does encourage people, man, because it's and also to not conform to society. You're just taught to act in a certain way and follow the system that you actually don't have to follow at all. And that's the trap. People get so caught in a trap of like, go to school, go to uni, get a job, pay off your mortgage. You just literally don't have to live that life, and everyone thinks you do.
Exactly.
It's just, so my piece of advice would be don't fall into the system.
All right, thanks man.
Thank you.